Get to this hour on Prater and the Ballgame. Appreciate you guys. We got Idaho Steelheads tonight. We have Kellen Moore on this show tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mark that in your calendars. And Mike Prater and Johnny Ballgame.
We also have, not that he's Kellen Moore-esque, not even close, but live from Indianapolis 500, Stingray Robb. We'll have him on the show tomorrow. So Kellen Moore, Stingray Robb, and a lot of Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. But first, let's get this blind appeal college football hour kicked off. And Prater, if they heard our promo today, we basically asked them, what are the expectations of Khalil Shakir year 2 with the Buffalo Bills? I mean, are we expecting a dramatic increase, a small increase, maybe even a drop-off, if that's possible? And obviously they're in OTAs. We played the clip yesterday of Josh Allen saying what quarterbacks say about their receivers, right? Good stuff, being nice things. And I don't think Josh Allen's going to get on there and say, no, he sucks. I don't want him on this team. Not that he would say that anyway. But
in this particular case, he talked about him being prepared and knowing his role and the basic stuff that we would expect from Khalil Shakir. He's a student of the game. He respects the game. He's very smart about the game. Going out and executing the game at the NFL level, that's what we're debating right now.
All right, year 2. I mean, the expectations. I'm going to give you the floor on this one. I think you're a little more passionate about this topic than me. Also, Khalil Shakir had 20 targets last year, and he caught 10 of those passes for 161 yards and did score his first NFL regular season touchdown. However, in the playoffs, he caught 5 balls for 91 yards, no touchdowns there. So did improve as the season went on. But what's Mike Prater thinking about how we're going year 2 here?
Played about 25 snaps in the grand scheme of their offense last season. Johnny just gave you the numbers. They're going to increase. There's no doubt about that, but they're not going to increase significantly, in my opinion. When we started talking about doing this, we started talking, can Khalil Shakir be wide receiver 2 with the Buffalo Bills? And, that's still kind of up for debate. We'll see how it happens. When I look at the Bills, because of Josh Allen and their scheme, I mean, they throw a ton of running backs at you. They throw a ton of tight ends at you. So I'm talking about just players catching footballs. I think there's a chance that Khalil Shakir could be wide receiver 3, probably behind Gabe Davis. But I still think it's going to be difficult for him to crack the top 5 in terms of catching the football from Josh Allen this year and taking those next strides. I think kind of like the defensive lineman we talked about from Iowa State that's transferring to Boise State. This is more of a long-term commitment. I think Khalil Shakir is going to play in the league for a long time. I just don't expect him to be a massive difference between last year and this year in his second year. I think this is going to be a slow, steady climb for Khalil Shakir.
What worries me is there's just no wiggle room here for Shaq. Buffalo brought on a 90-man roster now. They have 13 wide receivers, okay? So if anything happens as far as an injury or a slow preseason or maybe gets a case of the dropsies, whatever the case is, there are other people that can't wait to kind of take that spot a little bit. It's a big room.
And you could read by the actions. Go back and look what the Buffalo Bills did early in the free agency. They didn't wait. They knew exactly what they were getting. They went out and gave Deontay Hardy a $9.5 million 2-year contract, in the first couple of days of free agency. So it's not like that they were waiting for the trickle-down effect. They went after something they wanted, and they gave a pedestrian NFL wide receiver almost $10 million for the next 2 years. That alone tells you the business of the NFL. Then they went out and drafted Dalton Kincaid, the Utah kid, who I think is just an absolute target machine. He's the guy that was targeted 16 times and caught 16 passes and single-handedly beat USC in that unbelievable performance in Salt Lake City a couple of years ago. So and he's a first rounder.
He's going to be good, man.
So Dalton Kincaid's going to come in and be an absolute target machine. Deontay Hardy is going to be a target machine. And they've already got Davis. They've already got Knox.
Don't forget Dawson Knox.
That's like 2 of the best tight ends in all of the National Football League all of a sudden. Cook is in there as well. Other players are in there as well. They added Latavius Murray, who catches the ball out of the backfield like crazy, or has in the National Football League. And don't forget Josh Allen. Josh Allen, and I don't know if this was a trend, a scheme, by accident, on purpose. From 2 years ago to last year, Josh Allen, his production dropped significantly. He threw the ball almost 100 less times last year than he did 2 years ago. Again, I don't know if they're trying to get more balance with the run. They had, McKenzie and Singletary last year. They had the Utah kid that I forget, it was Moss.
Yep.
So none of those guys were that good.
He's gone too.
Yes. So all those, the running back room has completely been revamped, and Latavius Murray is in. So I just kind of worry about the availability of snaps. If Josh Allen's going to continue to pass less, and if he's going to have to continue to distribute the ball to, Diggs, Davis, and now all of a sudden, Hardy and Kincaid. I think Diggs, Davis, Hardy, and Kincaid are targets 1, 2, 3, 4, and at best, Khalil Shakir is going to be number 5.
They drafted this kid named Justin Shorter, too, in the 5th round, which is the same round they took Shaq in last year, and he's a wide receiver out of Florida. He was basically Richardson's number 1 option at Florida last year. There's a lot of skill position players. Don't forget Nyheim Hines, the former Colt, who's great at catching balls out of the backfield. And a lot of Boise State fans know Jordan Mims, the former Fresno State Bulldog back, who was an all-conference player. They picked him up as an undrafted free agent. Just not a lot of balls to go around. I actually think Josh Allen's numbers are going to go up in pass attempts. I think he's going to throw more than he did last year. And don't forget this, too. They only played 16 games. Remember the Damar Hamlin game? So there was one game so maybe take away 35 attempts on Josh Allen. They were one of the 2 teams that only played 16 games. For me on Shaq, though, and I just, and watching him and covering him, he's too smart. He's too skilled. He's too dedicated.
But that has nothing to do with production in the NFL. All these NFL guys are. That's why they're in the NFL.
And he made big plays, I thought, last year when given the opportunity. He had
10 catches on 20 targets? That's terrible.
5 in the playoffs in 2 games.
He had one game. He was pretty good.
They were using him more in the playoffs, and he had some big key catches. He had Shaq catches that we've seen a million times. He can be wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 at Buffalo, because last year he wasn't even that. At the end of the year, maybe you could argue he was wide receiver 4. That's why he was able to catch 5 balls in the playoff run. But throughout the season, Prater, there were games he wasn't even active. A couple of them. He was not active, I think, 2 or 3 games last year for the Buffalo Bills. He played in 14 games. He had a couple of punt returns, too. Maybe he can help the team in that regard, but I doubt it. I think the Hardy kid that they brought over, you're talking the guy that they gave $10 million to, he is a return specialist. I think Deontay Hardy can help them in the return game. Maybe that opens things up for Shaq. If he can be wide receiver 3, that means he had one heck of a camp in a really loaded receiver room, and I just trust him. I expect Khalil Shakir to catch. I'm going to give him 32 catches this year. I'm going to say 2 catches a game. A catch and a half a game in the 17-game schedule. I'll give him 32. I'll give him up from 10 to 32.
And that would have got him 7th on the team in receptions last year. So that's kind of where, because Josh Allen, even with that drop in production last year, in terms of passing attempts, still obviously throws the ball around a ton. So, Diggs had 108, Davis had 48, Knox had 48, McKenzie, Singletary, both around 40. So, yes, that's I expect Shaq to at least double. If he caught 10 passes last year, he's going to go 20, 25. I wouldn't be surprised if he pushes 30 plus. He's going to have more production. There's no doubt about that. He's going to do and say and be in all the right places. He's that kind of a student. He's that kind of an athlete. He's that kind of a teammate. So no problems there. I just think the Buffalo Bills, they don't give a crap about Khalil Shakir. They just want production. Yep. And he's just a part of the production, and they don't care how many passes he catches. They've brought in way too many cogs this offseason to a team that still already had way too many cogs to make me think that Khalil Shakir is about ready to become a breakout star. I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah, Shaq's going to be better this year than he was last year. That's obvious. But, was there more opportunity last year for Khalil Shakir and he wasn't able to take advantage of it for whatever reason than this year, where seems like they just brought the whole stinking bus over to Buffalo? Playmakers galore. Get off the bus. Yep. Let's see who can make the most plays. And Khalil Shakir is going to be in a heavy. Talk about this for a good team. The competition at receiver for the Buffalo Bills, that's going to be a heavy competition to pay attention to come training camp.
Absolutely. And I think it's happening today, yesterday, tomorrow. OTAs in Buffalo. Stephon Diggs is not attending OTAs right now. And I don't know if that's standard operation for him. I don't know if he needs to, wants to, can, will. Voluntary, mandatory stuff doesn't happen for another couple of weeks. So Stephon Diggs, as of now, is not in OTAs. I don't think he's expected to show up in OTAs. You know what that means, ball game. That means reps.
Yeah.
That's where you start making your hay. That's where you start doing your business. And we all know that Khalil Shakir is going to do what's right by him and this football team in practice and this offseason. So It's not about beating up on Khalil Shakir. I don't want this to sound like that at all. We all love Khalil Shakir, and I think he's going to break, if it's a record, Legadou Nane. We talked about this early in the show. Legadou Nane has more catches than any other Boise State wide receiver in the NFL. He caught 108 passes. Pettis caught 107. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm said eventually we'll get there. He's at 79 right now. He might limp his way to 100, maybe.
Said you'd hope so.
You would hope so. You would hope so. But his career is kind of at the yellow light right now.
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir is going to get there. He's going to have 100 catches in the NFL. He's going to get a second contract. I just think it's going to be a slow process, which is probably okay. I don't think I ever expected Khalil Shakir to be wide receiver 1 in the NFL at any point in his career and be a $100 million diva wide receiver superstar. He's going to go in there for 10 plus years, do his job, keep his mouth shut, take care of business. He's also a balanced guy. Every time we talk to him in press conferences, he'd love to talk about anything but football. Girlfriend, bowling, mental health, getting away from football. This dude, video games,
his family. Yeah.
This dude is a balanced dude. This dude does not eat, sleep, and just obsess about football 24/7, 365. I like that. I think that's part of the reason why he's going to be in the league for a long, long time. I just don't expect year 2 to be miracles. It's not going to create any kind of miracles. I just hope and I count on him to make some kind of progress.
Text the show 208-424-9300. How many catches do you expect Khalil Shakir to have in year 2 of his NFL career in Buffalo? Just simply text us a number and we'll know exactly what you're talking about on the Cloverdale Plumbing text line. The NFL is just so crazy, right? You can just get caught in a situation that Khalil Shakir is in right now, where you just have a jam-packed room and you have a lot of other very, very talented people. As much as we like Shaq, and we do, Florida fan is saying Justin Shorter is better than Khalil Shakir, right?
Utah fan is saying Dalton Kincaid is better than Khalil Shakir.
Vanderbilt fan is saying Trent Sherfield, whoever the hell he is better than Khalil Shakir. Washington State fan is saying Desmond Patman is better than Khalil Shakir. All those guys, though, they were the Khalil Shakir of their team, right?
Yep.
And now Shaq's just, kind of a cast of thousands, and he's just trying to separate himself, and he's going to have the opportunity to do so. You said, Diggs was gone, but he's going to have to make plays, and this is one of those things. Stay healthy, Prater.
Yep.
Don't spend training camp in the training room, right? And then you're gonna slip through the cracks on this thing, and Buffalo will move on without you. Big season coming for Shaq. Again, how many catches do you think he'll have? Shoot us a text on that. This is the Blind Appeal College Football Hour, and Blind Appeal specializes in offering you the right blinds at the right price in the right colors that will complement your interior. They also follow a lot of rules and regulations to get you the best proper blinds out there. They guarantee everything, and they carry brands that specialize in security blinds that are designed to keep your house cooler and offer the ultimate in privacy and security. Blind Appeal for life, for real. JP, we wanted to talk about the Idaho Vandals quickly. They only have 4 home games on their schedule, Prater.
Embarrassing. And you're probably going to come up with some kind of reason or blame somebody else.
Yeah. 4 home games on the Vandal schedule this year, plus an opportunity for touchdowns for tickets coming up too. Don't go anywhere. We're Prater in the ball game. This is Idaho Sports Talk on KTIK, The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.